Right now, live at 5, the federal government has agreed to buy 200 million more vaccine doses as cases and deaths of the coronavirus continue to rise in the U.S. This as a local county says it wants to open COVID-19 vaccination clinics as early as next week. Plus,
we learn more about Governor Tim Walz's proposed tax tobacco increase.
And later on this Holocaust Remembrance Day, we're hearing from a survivor who says she wants to tell her story to make sure something like that never happens again.
You're watching Live at 5 on Live Local CBS3.
Welcome to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look from two harbors where we're learning county officials are pushing to have a vaccine clinic open as soon as next week. More on that in just a few minutes. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Kristen Bakke. The federal government made a big move to purchase 200 million more vaccines to Americans in hopes of speeding up the process. This comes as the U.S. reaches another grim milestone, 79,000 coronavirus deaths so far this month alone. Naomi Ruckham reports from New York.
And now is the time to remain vigilant.
Members of President Biden's COVID-19 response team spoke directly to the American people about the worsening pandemic.
That 479,000 to 514,000 COVID-19 deaths will be reported by February 20th, 2021.
To combat the spread, the federal government has agreed to buy 200 million more vaccine doses, enough to vaccinate 300 million Americans by the end of summer or early fall.
Even so, it will be months before everyone who wants a vaccine will be able to get one.
Public health officials are still looking into the effect of the vaccine on new variants of the virus.
We have to be concerned looking forward at what the further evolution of this might be.
They also addressed vaccine disparities affecting the rollout.
Your ability to pay should not play a role in your decision of whether or not to receive this vaccine.
President Biden has promised to give state governors more of a heads up on how many vaccines to expect to help distribution plans. This mass vaccination site opened in Paterson, New Jersey, where officials have decided to give shots on a first-come, first-served basis.
Within coming weeks, the vaccine supply should increase by 16%. This is a wartime effort.
New York City is set to receive about 17,000 extra doses of vaccine starting next week.
All that matters is vaccinating the most Americans as quickly as possible.
With positivity and hospitalization rates in New York declining, the governor has agreed to lift COVID restrictions across much of the state, but indoor dining remains closed.
President Joe Biden is expected to sign an executive order tomorrow to reopen the healthcare.gov insurance markets to help people who need coverage during the pandemic. U.S. Senator Tina Smith is fighting for more doses of the COVID-19 vaccine to be shipped to Minnesota. In an interview today, she applauded President Biden's efforts to increase doses. Last night, we reported the federal government plans to increase Minnesota's allotted doses by 11,000 each week. But Smith, a Democrat, says the fight for even more starts with Biden's work in Washington.
What I want to do is to make sure that the federal government has his back and is there to help make sure that we have more vaccines, because what we want is for as many Minnesotans as possible, almost all Minnesotans, to have a vaccine in their arm by the time we get to the summer.
Smith also reminds residents to stay patient as vaccine rollout increases. As many hope for more vaccines, Lake County hopes to open vaccination clinics as early as next week. If they get enough doses, they say they could have appointments available starting on Monday. Anyone 65 and older would be eligible. If you fall in that age group, you can call the county's hotline to make an appointment. That number is 218-834-8434. It's also listed on your screen and it's on our website. When you call, you'll hear a recorded message that will let you know if the pop-up clinics are open that day and if appointments are available. All appointments will be at the Lakeview Conference Center in Two Harbors. Teachers and child care workers in Lake County can also be vaccinated at these pop-up clinics. They'll be notified by their employer when they are eligible. The price of tobacco and vape products in Minnesota could soon go up. This comes after Governor Tim Walz laid out his more than $52 billion state budget Tuesday. It includes a $1 tax increase on tobacco and vape products. CBS3's Leanne Valdez spoke to a local rep with the American Lung Association and explains why they see this proposal as a lifesaver.
Pat McCone with the American Lung Association says putting a tax on tobacco and vape products is actually a win for those wanting to quit smoking, children, and healthcare. McCone says the national adult smoking rate for Minnesota is 14%, and if the tax goes up by $1, people who are already thinking about quitting the habit now have an incentive to quit fully. For children, McCone says the high school use rates are at about 28% in Minnesota, saying any rate is too high, and adding more tax will help prevent kids from wanting to smoke or even start. Governor Walz's proposal could also reduce health care costs, says McCone.
It's especially important during a pandemic when we know that people that smoke and if they get COVID are at higher risk for serious consequences, more serious than someone that doesn't smoke.
McCone says after the tobacco tax increase in 2013, the state had a significant decrease in smoking among adults. More than half of Minnesota's smokers made a strong attempt to quit, and about 16% of those smokers actually quit the following year of the tax increase.
Thanks, Leanne. Coming up tonight at 6, we'll hear from local business owners who say they're not too happy about the governor's new push. Meanwhile, a Duluth lawmaker has authored a bill looking to expand an affordable health care program for Minnesotans. Duluth Representative Jen Schultz is introducing the legislation that would bring a public option to Minnesota Care. She says the move would create lower out-of-pocket costs and allow access to a network of providers.
Minnesota families, local communities, and our state's economy are stronger when everyone has access to health care. The pandemic is showing us the importance of healthcare access for all and the importance of addressing health inequity.
A Duluth small business owner also chimed in on the proposal, saying her handful of employees could have better coverage and give her the chance to use that money elsewhere.
Minnesota families, local communities, and our state's economy are stronger when everyone has access to health care. The pandemic is showing us the importance of healthcare access for all and the importance of addressing health inequity.
If the legislation is passed this session, it would partially go into effect in January of 2022. Well, here's a live look at Duluth's lift bridge in Canal Park. A beautiful look as well. Almost every Northlander has watched ships pass under it, but very few know what it's like to be on board one of those freighters. Ryan Miller from Michigan's Upper Peninsula has been a pilot on the ships that sail the Great Lakes for the last few years. That means he navigates the ship through the Great Lakes. He recently decided to share that experience on the social media app TikTok. Miller says it started by just answering a few people's questions on his personal account, but it has now turned into something so much bigger.
Checked this morning and I'm at like 60,000 followers, which just blows my mind that that many people are interested. And so there's kind of some pressure because when I do put educational stuff, you know, I have to make sure that I'm actually giving people the right information.
Miller shares behind-the-scenes videos, including of his time sailing into the Twin Ports. Coming up at 6, Miller explains what he thinks is driving his popularity and why Duluth is one of his favorite places to port. Well, Dave's here for a first look at the weather. Another very cold one out there today.
Yeah, and I hope I'm giving the right information as well by saying it's going to get chilly again tonight.
All right.
But the stripe with the really cold weather is narrowing, which is a sign hopefully this cold snap will be ending soon. So northern Minnesota near the Canadian border, you still get a wind chill advisory through 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. But for the rest of Minnesota, the wind will be calm enough where we just have actual cold air temperatures rather than factoring in the winds as well. And just like the last couple of nights, Wisconsin and Michigan off the hook as far as the wind chill factor goes, but your actual air temperatures will probably be colder tomorrow morning than they have been the past couple of nights. So higher pressure still in our area, keeping most of the clouds at bay in northern Minnesota. Still a slight chance for lake effect tonight for the UP, but the South Shore of Wisconsin may not get any more this time around. Coming up tonight and for tomorrow, clear and cold, 10 below Twin Ports, 20 below inland. Partly sunny sky, though, in the afternoon, which leads to double-digit high temperatures. 14 above, that's the sign of the warm-up coming our way, which could trigger some snow for the weekend, and we'll talk about that in a few more minutes.
Well, it's January when 14 above seems like a heat wave. Thanks, Dave. Still to come on Live at 5, a nearby fire hall is under construction for a well-needed addition, and local students will be returning to their classrooms soon. City by City is next.
You're watching Live at 5 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live Local CBS3.
Come on down to Hannah Johnson Fabrics and Sewing Studio in Lakeside Marketplace. Don't know where to start? Visit our new sewing classroom and studio. Whether you're a brand new sewist or you've sewn for years, we have a class for you at Hannah Johnson Fabrics. We'll help you get your projects going with our huge selection of high-quality designer and specialty fabrics. Our friendly staff will help you find exactly what you need. Come see us in person or register for classes online at hannahjohnsonfabrics.com.
Wash your hands. Wear a mask.
Mantén distancia.
Stay home when you're sick.
Slow the spread.
We can do this together.
I'm having problems. I think I have some memories I need to look at. Everyone's looking at me sideways. I thought it was done. Story isn't over.
Hello, Clarice.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers get paid training to keep the power flowing, engines running, and supplies moving. Army National Guard soldiers are learning skills that can set them up for success with companies looking to hire the best.
The Army National Guard basically built my resume for me.
Find out how you can learn a trade and serve part-time for your community and country by visiting nationalguard.com.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look at Bayfield, Wisconsin. Dave will be in to tell us if that cold is sticking around in just a bit. But first, let's see what's happening in your neighborhood. Tonight, in addition to a local fire station, will make returning home from calls safer for responders. And some students are heading back to the classroom as early as next month. All of that and more as we take you around the Northland, city by city. We'll start things off tonight in Esco, where renovations to the town's fire hall are underway. The new addition will feature a second story over the existing locker area. This new space will be home to bathrooms with individual showers. According to Fire Chief Kyle Gustafson, these showers were greatly needed for responders to be able to clean up before returning home. He is hoping renovations will be complete by the end of March. Next, we'll go to Proctor, where the school board has announced plans to return to partially in-person learning next month. Planning days required by the Minnesota Department of Education will take place February 4th and 5th. Starting February 9th, pre-K through second graders will return full-time, and 7th, 8th, and 9th graders will begin a hybrid model. On February 22nd, grades 3 through 5 will return full-time, and the 6th graders and high schoolers will begin their hybrid learning model. More information will be sent to families and students soon. Finally, tonight we travel to Ashland, Wisconsin for the weekly Check Bay Dogs on Ice get-together. Every Sunday until at least April 25th, dog owners are invited to Chequamegon Bay for an hour of dog fun from noon to 1 o'clock. There is no fee, and any donations go toward buying treats for the next event. You can find more information on their Facebook page. If there's something going on in your neighborhood, go ahead and send us an email, and it might be featured as we go around the Northland city by city. Still to come, VWCA permit registration open today. Changes you need to know about, including a new required training course coming up.
Duluth International Airport, low temperature 11 below, daytime high only 7 above. The cold snap continues and will for one more night, but signs of moderation will return to our thermometers by tomorrow afternoon, and we'll talk about how high then we could get for the weekend coming up after our break.
It is the question that matters the most. Without it, our purpose and our freedom fade. This is why.
The world changed in an instant, but at MediaCom, we were ready. And as internet traffic increased, we never slowed down. Schools and businesses went virtual, and we powered a new reality. For more than 20 years, we've been building a future-ready network to keep you ahead of it all. And now, MediaCom will be among the first to take you to 10G. We're making the next giant leap forward in internet technology and taking you further than you can imagine.
Play It Again Sports in Duluth is the only location north of the Twin Cities where you can get a free CCM skate foot scan. Find the right skates the first time with this precise measurement. Play It Again Sports has skates and equipment for any skater. Stop in today.
What a historic day, and glad to be spending it with all of you.
And what matters most is this moment.
How do you unify a country when so many people believe that he is not their president?
He has an enormous challenge.
What Joe Biden will be judged on first is whether there's a corona vaccine in your arm in a few months.
This is a president that plans to hit the ground running.
When most people have ended their day, ours is just starting. Good morning, I'm Jenna Wells. When news and weather happen overnight, we're there. As stories break in your neighborhood,
You can count on us to bring you the details.
for scores and more, we've got you covered. Hi, I'm Kelly Hinson.
Why? Because the news that matters to you matters to us.
Plus, this is our home, too.
We're live.
We're local. We're CBS3.
Northwest Outlet is your ARE truck topper headquarters.
I talked to a popular TikTok creator who shows us what it's like to go through the canal.
It is going to get cold once again tonight, but by tomorrow afternoon, a warm spell could start.
Tonight at 6 on Live Local CBS3.
Join us weeknights for Live at 5 as we go around the Northland, city by city.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
You know, it's been almost 25 years since Minnesota state record cold temperature was set just south of Tower. And since then, cotton has been coming on strong, trying to take the title. This morning, coldest spot in our region at 35 below. Lake Capitocama, though, not too far behind at 33 below. Babbitt came in at 29 below, and so did Ely and International Falls, Virginia, 25 degrees below zero. Hibbing, 22 below. And into Wisconsin, once you got away from the lake, it got pretty brisk down towards Hayward at 16 below. Into the Upper Peninsula, well, both Ironwood and Watersmeet were above zero, our hot spots. One more cold night, probably not this cold, and that's coming around tonight through tomorrow morning. Current conditions at the airport in Duluth say it's not winning any records for high temperatures there at 6 above. Relative humidity is 45%. Northwest winds going 6 miles per hour, and the wind is calming down. So the wind chill advisory is gone for most of Minnesota tonight, though it will cling to border towns from International Falls to Grand Portage through tomorrow morning, so especially brisk there. Air pressure now is at 30.6 inches of mercury, definitely on the high side as the Arctic air holds on to us for perhaps another 18 hours or so. Current temperature, see there, 11 above in Watersby, not bad. But Hayward rebounded nicely to 12 above. We have 9 in Ironwood and for LaPointe, 7 in Superior, 9 for Moose Lake. Lower single digits on much of the North Shore, getting chilly up the Gunflint, already brisk at Ely Airport, just outside of town on Highway 1, 4 below or 3 below International Falls. Lows tomorrow morning, again, could touch 20 below or so inland parts of northern Minnesota, and about 10 below for a lot of places in Wisconsin, and maybe even 5 below closer to the lake. So even though Not a wind chill factor here overnight tonight in Wisconsin and Michigan. The actual air temperatures could become cooler than they were the past 2 mornings. Well, taking a look at the situation coming away for Thursday and Friday, the colder air starts to retreat and a low pressure system from the west starts to come our way, leading with a warm front, helping bring temperatures up and thickening up the clouds as well. Thursday and Friday, the clouds will thicken towards at least partly sunny. And then once we get into the weekend, the low pressure system could bring us a 50-60% chance for snow. And right now, the latest models indicate perhaps 2 to 4 inches. As always, though, that could change, and we'll keep tracking this system as it gets closer to us. Now, we focus our attention on tonight's low temps in Minnesota, where it could go 20 below inland and 10 below at places like Duluth International. Clear and cold for Minnesota. Just a little bit cloudier for Wisconsin, Michigan. Still some UP snow showers possible. Otherwise, 10 below for a lot of Wisconsin. 5 below in the upper peninsula. Tomorrow's high temps get fairly close to normal. Normal's 19 or 20. Wisconsin, Michigan runs 16 to 18. Partly sunny sky with upper peninsula flurries still possible. Partly sunny in Minnesota, but dry with highs from 11 near Ely to 17 by Moose Lake. And then with the rest of the week's forecast here, we go to 20 degrees on Friday. Oh, normal. And then warmer than normal Saturday, Sunday. That extra heat lift helps provide the chance for the snow, which stands at 60%. And again, I think right now we could run about 2 to 4. Then we dry up again as early as Monday.
All right, thanks, Dave. Today, President Biden laid out his agenda on climate change. Another series of executive actions are aimed at elevating climate as a top national security and foreign policy issue. But the president's plans are already being met with opposition. Natalie Brand reports from the White House.
Today is Climate Day at the White House.
President Biden, who's called climate change one of the top 4 pressing challenges of the time, signed executive actions, making it a top priority of his administration.
It's a whole-of-government approach. Put climate change at the center of our domestic, national security, and foreign policy.
The actions include setting goals to conserve 30% of federal land and water by 2030, as well as steps to double renewable energy production from offshore winds. It also directs the Secretary of Interior to freeze new oil and natural gas leases on public lands and offshore waters to the extent possible.
We're not going to ban fracking. We'll protect jobs and grow jobs.
The oil and gas industry has been critical of the president's climate plans, with the American Petroleum Institute charging it could lead to more dependence on foreign energy and job loss. Those concerns were echoed on Capitol Hill at the confirmation hearing for Energy Secretary nominee Jennifer Granholm.
A long-term ban is going to cut revenues to New Mexico and Wyoming by hundreds of millions of dollars.
The licenses that currently are operating are not going to be disrupted.
Members of the president's climate team say their focus is on creating the jobs of the future.
We can build that demand. We can actually grow significantly millions of clean energy jobs.
On the foreign policy front, the president is planning to host a World Leaders Climate Summit on Earth Day.
Closer to home, if you're looking to book a trip to the Boundary Waters this year, now is the time to do it. Quota permit reservation began at 9 o'clock this morning. Anyone doing an overnight paddle, motor, or hiking trip or a motorized day trip between May 1st and September 30th has to have one. Groups are limited to 9 people. You can make a reservation online or by calling the number on your screen. Another change this year is campers are required to take training courses before getting a permit. This comes after forest officials saw a lot of bad behavior last year, including trash being left behind and unattended campfires. The classes will be online and in person. Still to come, Holocaust survivors are taking time today to share their stories and remember the 6 million lives lost to the Nazi regime. We'll hear from one survivor after the break.
Now at Home Sleep Express, you can test and buy a famous Purple mattress and finance it free for 4 years. Purple's patented science makes for cooler and more comfortable sleep. Get free delivery, setup, and a 120-day guarantee. The famous Purple mattress, now at Home Sleep Express.
Menards carries everything you need for your automotive needs. We carry a great selection of quality products to keep your vehicle running smoothly. Splash Ultimate Windshield Wash Fluid is great for winter months and is effective down to negative 35 degrees. It clears ice and salt while delivering a clear, streak-free shine every time. Right now, pick up a gallon for only $1.99. Save today with all of your automotive needs during Menards Home Improvement Sale.
Save big money at Menards.
My name is Dr. Brian Thompson, and I work at the Fairview Masaba Clinic in Nashwauk. There's something special about the Fairview team. We have this incredible drive to help our patients, in addition to knowing many of them personally, and so we get a better sense of what their needs are, both medically and personally. It's hard to describe. It's almost like in the olden days when everyone had a neighborhood doctor. We live in the area, our kids go to the same school, this is our home, and we're here to help.
Fairview Range, we're here.
Some things are just too important to leave out of your day. Make sure we aren't one of them. Live, local, CBS3.
Epilepsy can affect anyone with a brain. It does not discriminate.
If you have a brain,
you can get epilepsy.
But here's something that's just as important to know.
Anyone with a brain can affect epilepsy.
So let's use our brains to do just that.
Let's change the way people think about epilepsy.
To find cures.
Because if all of us can get epilepsy,
all of us can end epilepsy.
We just need to use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains.
Let's use our brains to end epilepsy.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
Now at Home Sleep Express, when you spend $2.99, pay nothing for sales tax with an extra 7% off sale prices on brands like Thomas Cole, Luxuria, and more. Plus, pay nothing down and nothing for interest until 2022, and pay nothing for no-contact shipping. Now at Home Sleep Express.
Today is International Holocaust Remembrance Day, an annual day to honor the 6 million Jewish victims of the Holocaust and other victims of the Nazi regime. Inside the Holocaust Museum in Los Angeles are reminders of a dark time in history. CEO Beth Keane says the museum provides lessons that can be applied today. Anti-Semitic symbols were recently seen during the attack on the nation's capital, like a Camp Auschwitz hoodie referring to the concentration camp where more than 1 million people died during the Holocaust. With most things now virtual, survivors like 88-year-old Edith Franke, who now, along with other survivors, uses Zoom to share their experiences with students across the country.
I like to share my story that things like that should never, ever happen again.
We know what can happen when hatred and bigotry go unchecked.
Beth says now more than ever is the time to inspire people to stand up against hatred, so one of the darkest parts of history will not be repeated.
Coming up here on the CBS Evening News, the new terror threat as Homeland Security officials warn tonight about domestic extremists inspired by the storming of the Capitol, as this California man is arrested with 5 pipe bombs and 49 guns. We've got that and more news tonight right here on the CBS Evening News.
Change the future of medicine from the convenience of home. Join the All of Us research program to help improve health research and speed up medical breakthroughs. Visit essentialhealth.org/allofus to learn more.
Let's make healthy happen in 2021. Join for $1 going on now through February 2nd. For more information, visit AnytimeFitness.com.
Wash your hands.
Wear a mask.
Mantén distancia.
Stay home when you're sick.
Slow the spread.
We can do this together.
This year's been just a huge year. We've had everything going on with the pandemic. It's hard to not have your heart go out to those people, the millions that have been impacted by that. That's why we do what we do, to try and keep people in the know. What's going on with this? When is it going to end? When's the vaccine going to be here? How is this impacting you? Where are resources to help you get through the pandemic and keep you and your family safe through all of this?
For coverage that matters most to you, tune to Live Local CBS3.
Everything that happens on a day-to-day basis in terms of news, no matter what happens in news, weather is always constant, weather is always changing as well. So it's still an important role as the meteorologist to kind of still stay grounded and to kind of just know that role and what to take and kind of just make sure you're delivering what's the most important for your viewers. But then also I like to touch base on the national things. All of those news stories also tie in with weather stories because they do go kind of hand in hand.
Watch Jenna and Caitlin in the morning at 5 and 6 a.m.
Mining. It's a part of Minnesota's history that affects everyone in the Northland still to this day. From environmental issues to economics and so much more. Join me, Kristen Baki, every Tuesday for Eye on Mining, a fair and unbiased report that answers the tough questions surrounding the world of mining.
Eye on Mining with Kristen Baki. Tuesdays at 10 only on Live Local CBS3. Brought to you by Iron Mining Association. Men's wardrobe provided by Mainstream Fashions for Men, celebrating 30 years in business in 2021 with 30% off store-wide, downtown Duluth.
Welcome back to the CBS3 News Live at 5. Here's a live look over the city of Duluth on this Wednesday evening. Let's take a look back at today's top story and we'll see what's coming up tonight at 6. The federal government plans to buy 200 million more doses of the COVID-19 vaccine in an attempt to speed up vaccination plans and get 300 million Americans vaccinated by the end of summer. And tonight at 6, Lake County officials say they want to have a vaccine clinic open as soon as next week. Who's eligible and how to register tonight. That's your news at 5. The CBS Evening News is next. We'll see you right back here at 6.